welcome to Follow Everton. Aussie Adam and Aussie Chris are up for a late night special. It's 2:45 in the morning here. Ryan will be joining with us shortly, but I suppose we'll go into the tragedy that is our starting lineup. First off, Adam. But let's go with this. We will look at the starting lineups quickly here. But are people ill? Do we have some chronic issue with going out to nightclubs? I can't tell, but we are about as bare, thin, and scarily weak as I think we've seen us. And we've been looking weak for a few weeks since AFCON, Adam. But do you want to talk us through the starting lineup today?
Yeah, so standardly we've got Pickford in goal, which is okay. Patterson, interestingly, is obviously starting right back. Now, he did come on in the game against Burnley for a quick cameo, but yeah, it was more just potentially a tactic defensive change, that the fact that we wanted to hold that 0-0 scoreline. So yeah, interestingly, Patterson's starting right back, and then we've got the partnership again of Tarkowski and O'Brien. So O'Brien, actually his preferred position, central centre back, but obviously left side of Tarkowski, and then the always forever present Mikolenko, and where did it go? And then Garner and Tim. I've got no issues with that. I think Tim in the Burnley game I was actually quite impressed by him. His dribbling skills and stuff, his hold up play as well. Like it was good. So I was impressed with Tim. I do want to see a bit more of him as well. And just his quality, if he can just bring that together just a little bit more, I think we've definitely got a player in there. So very excited for that. Dibbling, the game against Burnley, I think he actually had some quite good highlights, and it was I was impressed by him actually, so I don't have an issue with that. Roll looks like he's going to be the starting sort of number 10, and then McNeil on the left and Barry up front. But then the bench is like two goalkeepers. Beto, Grealish is on the bench, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. Maybe he's still a bit sick. Asnu, I don't even know if he's even got to come on for a sub. Graham, Welsh, Campbell, and Bates. I've not really, to be honest, seen them. So we've got a very threadbare bench there, Chris, and that's what worries me. If you come down to being able to being forced to use them, then I think we're in trouble.
Yeah, well, we're told we want to have nice bench options if we are looking for questions, answers, or a response to Nottingham Forest. What you want is players to shake things up. So we have Beto and Barry doing their swap, quite likely around the 60-minute mark. We have Jack Grealish. Well, as a bench option, that's pretty powerful, but clearly you'd rather him starting, so probably not at full fitness. And then you have Adam Aslan. Outside of that, you have Graham, Welsh, Campbell, and Bates, and you go, what the hell's... We're in trouble, in short. I think Campbell could be a option going forward. I have never seen almost anything of Graham and Bates. I think they're both under 21 considerations here. Reece Welsh is a centre-back option. And Asnu, we haven't seen since his little cameo against Bournemouth in the pre-season cup in the United States, where he seemed competitive, but I guess maybe physically outdone. And I think we're in for a bit of trouble here.
It looks like the January transfer window needs to be an absolute a blinder of a window to really get this squad up and running, and just to give it some depth as well, and bench options. Like even just the game against Burnley when we were watching that, Chris, like the actual subs that they brought on, Anthony and Fleming, like I would go to say that probably if we had Fleming, he'd probably be a starting forward, and Anthony would be if potentially starting winger, if not definitely a very viable sub option. So we definitely need, and that was Burnley. So we definitely need more depth.
Yeah, and for Burnley, before we focus more on the past results here, he was doing quite well to start the season. So that that was a unique point of depth for them, and I hadn't really followed Burnley enough, honestly, to say why he didn't start. But for us, the only real attacking options here become. Oh, look at this! We have Wezo as well. He's it. We have a man here from America.
How are we, folks?
How you doing, Wes?
How you going, Wes?
How are we, Adam?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Bit tired. It's like 3 a.m, so yeah, no, it's all good.
3 a.m?
Yeah.
All right. It's 10 to 2 in the afternoon here in the
Oh,
Terminal
lovely.
Bar in
Lovely.
New York.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a few people gathering at the moment. Well,
Yeah, having a good
trip.
trip.
A minute. Yeah, caught up off the jet lag.
Yeah, that's the go. Oh,
well,
very
we're
festive.
trying to pick. So
we're trying to suss out our bench, Wes.
And the starting lineup, and what happened to Michael Keane and Charlie Alcaraz? Do they get the flu,
right.
or do you have any inside scoop from New York?
Grealish has been benched.
Yeah, well, we probably all know what that's for, don't we?
Well, that is probably the world's longest hangover, if that's truly the case. Because what I've also read, that photo in that event that's been talked about, that wasn't that was like the day after or the night of the match against. Who was it? Arsenal. So that wasn't a recent event either.
To be honest,
that's
boys,
a long hangover. To be honest,
you know what I think this is. I actually think this is David Moyes saying that's not acceptable. You're not playing against Burnley, and then also you bench for the Nottingham Forest game. I think it could be a point to prove. What do you think, Wes?
I think
it's leading by example.
I think Dice is on a mission for revenge in this game, especially putting another complaint into the PGMOL for being hard done by the referee again. Like, just shut up, moan, and get on with the football, innit? Stop your whinging.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has bad decisions, bad refs and stuff like that, and we have a moan about it, but not every team puts a complaint in every week for the PGMOL. You know what I mean?
Well, we know Nottingham Forest are up for a good Twitter announcement challenging the status quo. So, as long as we're not as ridiculous as them, I think I can sleep easy. But it's in terms of the lineup, Wes, this is going to be interesting. We have two, if we want to call Mikalenko an attacking fullback, at least he's a fullback in a fullback position, and we have Nathan Patterson today. So we have two attacking-minded fullbacks to pair up with Dibling and Dwight McNeil. Not the ideal wingers, but we are starting to see a little bit more out of Dibling after last week. Do you think this was a chance for a more attacking and more balanced squad at least on the wings? Maybe not as strong, but more balanced.
From what, like, I obviously haven't seen a lot of football over the last few days. I didn't see the Burnley game, so I haven't really got a comment on that. Obviously, because I'm here in New York. By the time we took off the day that game was happening, so.
Oh, he's gone.
And that's why you pay for your Wi-Fi, folks.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to ring me. Like,
that's what it was. You're too popular, Wes. Everyone wants your number.
He didn't want to come initially, but he must realise that I've loads of fun and Evertonians bars, you know what I mean? Obviously Tyler Dibling's getting a few more minutes now. I don't know how he played against Burnley, so you'd have to fill me in on that one. From what I've seen in the highlights, he's done pretty well. We had a penalty that was, similar to the KDH penalty that was given against us, but was turned down for us, which was typical.
The handball wasn't even looked at. It didn't even go to VAR.
I haven't seen any highlights of the Burnley game.
Yeah, well, so we'll talk about the penalty shout quickly. I'm disappointed, shocked, surprised. I'm not sure what the word is at this point. The hand was clearly away from his body. It wasn't like at full extension, but notably away from his body. It was relatively tucked in, but his hand was out to the point that you say that was away from his body, blocking a goal scoring opportunity. It wasn't even looked at by VAR, or if it was, VAR may have said it wasn't worth a more thorough investigation. And you go, really, guys? Either you can call corruption. I think it's just really inconsistent refereeing across the entire spectrum. And again, just like why? In terms of how we played, Tyler Dibley was looking quite good, honestly.
Yes, please.
He's playing. You got another thing coming up, Wes? Are you doubling up?
I don't know what happened there. I'll have to.
It's a double Wes.
Is that better?
We'll have a fragmented Wes, a full Wes.
I lost sound, so because somebody tried to ring me, the sound went off.
Well, soon enough, we're gonna have like we have a wall of Wes mirrors, just like 7 of them.
Hey, Chris, I'll make a quick point. So on the left-hand side, if you've got McNeil and Mikolenko, what do you think about this, Wes? But McNeil and Mikolenko, I think defensively, we're going to be, I wouldn't say absolutely great, but we're not going to be that bad. Because McNeil does track back, and Mikolenko is obviously a very good defender. Obviously not going forward, we might not be as effective, but McNeil can carry the ball, and he might actually come in centrally as well from the left-hand side there. But on the right-hand side, I'm actually not too sure what's going to happen. I've never really seen this dynamic with potentially Patterson and then obviously in front of him Dibbling. So defensively, we may be very, very, very shaky on the right-hand side, like probably our weakest side. But attacking-wise, it may be probably maybe one of our best showings potentially because of the pace of Patterson, and we haven't seen too much of him for a while, so he may have a point to prove potentially. But he also may be on the way out, so I'm not too sure about that.
So in short, Wes, do you think it'll be a 3-3 blinder because we have such attacking prowess with goals in our back, leaks in our back line?
Probably not. No.
So we're losing 3-0.
I haven't got high hopes for today. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Hey, Wes, are you excited to see Patterson, the combination of Patterson and Dibbling in front of him? Defensively, we're going to be a little bit shaky, but attacking wise, it's probably, we've never seen that combo before.
No, I think Patterson is quite good. It's like his distribution's quite good for what we've seen of him.
Yeah.
And he'll probably, overlap and underlap with Dibbling, possibly. But I don't see much threat from us today now. You know what I mean? Like the teams, like I'd like to see a lot of like what Roll can do because we haven't seen a lot of it through injury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
what happened to Alcaraz as well? I just completely forgot about him. He's not even on the bench. Like I don't understand what's going on.
It has to be a squad illness. Well, we can joke about alcohol, but it's a squad illness. It has to be.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about it. The only sort of saving grace, I suppose, with McNeil playing is he will track back and out Mikolenko out.
Well, that's what I said quickly before. The left-hand side, defensively, with Mikolenko and McNeil tracking back, I think defensively we're going to be okay. Obviously, attacking-wise, I'm not too sure, but attacking-wise on the right end, defensively on the right, we are definitely going to be shaky, but attacking-wise on the right, moving forwards, we've never seen a combination between Patterson and Dibbling before, so that could be very exciting and something very unpredictable that Forest may not be able to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, like you say, these are going to have to be after revenge today because Sean Dyche came out after the game at Bramley Moor and turned around and said, the scoreline kind of flattered us. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. At the end of the day, but I don't think they were up to much Forest in that game. But so he's going to be chomping at the bits today to get at us. We haven't got the strongest of teams.
It's a home game, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, if we'd have had, if we'd have had our full starting 11, I've had a bit more confidence. But obviously, KDH out, Grealish on the bench. NJ at the AFCON, Garner at the AFCON. nowhere near our full capabilities. So we might just have to chalk this one down as another bad day at the office, or maybe a point at best. Hopefully.
I think if we can get a point, we'll be doing all right. I don't know about keeping the clean sheet. I'm not quite sure. Have you got the starting lineup for Notts Forest, Chris?
Yeah, I will do. I'll bring that up as well. Yeah, we'll go this way. So I guess John, is their keeper. And then they have Nico Williams, Murillo, who else? Zinchenko probably is going to be in there in the defensive side along with Milenkovic.
Yeah.
So that'll be them. And then they'll have Anderson. They'll have Gibbs White in an attacking side. You'll have Hudson-Odoi with Hutchinson. And then I think Jesus will be through the middle. And I'm trying to think who their striker would be. Maybe is that?
No. There, I think Dominguez. I think he's a midfielder, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jesus would be your striker, and your wingers will be Hudson-Odoi and Omari Hutchinson.
It's a very strong midfield.
Not their strongest squad, to be honest.
Well, it's a strong midfield. It's stronger than ours.
Yeah, the midfield's strong. I'm just thinking attacking wise. I think they've been stronger.
Yeah. Well, the two wingers of Hutchinson and Hudson-Odoi, I'm going to be a little bit scared of that. They're gonna probably. Yeah, we'll see.
Have you noticed that Sells is on the bench for them? A bit of a surprise, right? The keeper.
Yeah.
Oh, Douglas Luiz isn't there? Yeah, Douglas Luiz on the bench. McAtee, Awoniyi is obviously another striker for them, but he hasn't had much showing under Dyche.
Yeah, and it's
I'm gonna have to drop out, boys.
Okay, mate.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Have a good afternoon or evening.
Thanks for coming on, bro. Yeah. You have a good day.
Good to see you.
You too, mate. See ya.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing, Adam. This squad for them, it looks a little paper thin for sure, but it's not terrible by any means either. Because but the thing, like, they don't have, they've changed keeper, which is a bit of a surprise. But they also what was his name? The New Zealander Chris Wood has been kind of
Chris Wood has been
recently.
I think he's injured at the moment.
Benched and and then Awoniyi was quite good a couple of seasons back, but just doesn't seem to have put it together again. So the only saving grace we have is their their lead striker situation is a bit weak or not consistent. But I could see us being in against Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White, Hutchinson at times. Omari Hutchinson is dangerous too. So that's probably our worry. Is more the support in three for them is where I think we might be in trouble on the
Jesus
side.
Jesus isn't a big body or a figure, but he's very pacey and quick and quite skillful. So we're just going to have to be careful with them. But it is kind of good that we've got Jake O'Brien at the left centre back, because I reckon he's obviously got a lot more pace than Michael Keane. So we've got a bit of a balance between a bit more pace with Tarkowski and O'Brien than Keane and Tarkowski. But we've got the the organisation and the defensive awareness of Tarkowski as well with Jake. So
and I think I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about midfield generally speaking. James Garner, as I've said pretty consistently, has been.
He's been
a shining star for us on a consistency basis. He's showing that leadership, and he was basically trying to drive consistency in passing and performance, and trying to move us up the pitch when we were pretty flat against Burnley. So I think either him or Tim-Eric Burnham on that left side with Jake O'Brien and then McNeil, and then you've got Mikalenko and McNeil in front of him. That side should at least defensively be pretty steady. It's more the other side of the worry.
I was really impressed with Tim and his tackling and stuff. Even the last couple of games, I remember he did a really, really good tackle on Timber in the Arsenal game as well from behind and won the ball cleanly. So his recovery tackles are like monumentally getting really, really good. So
Do they remind you of Amadou Onana's back in the day? I think Onana's was slightly more elongated, but they were like deep recovery slide tackles. And you're like, ooh.
Yeah. He's just got to obviously think about it. Yeah. Tim's just got to his forward thinking passing and his just general awareness just needs to be a bit sharper. But again, he hasn't played a lot of he hasn't started for quite a few games consistently. So this starting game for him, I think would be more experience as well. So it'd be.
Are we talking Merlin, right?
Sorry, Tim still.
Oh yeah. Because I think that I've been a little bit underwhelmed, but it's also very early days. Merlin Roll, you can see he's got a lot of energy, and it's almost like he's running in isolation when he's on. Okay, he's been playing with Beto, so now we're going to see Barry and Merlin together for an extended period. The real question is if we are kind of in an under strength squad, are we going to be a little bit too defensive and isolating our attacking players? To be fair, it's Sean Dyche, so I'm not exactly expecting them to be boxing us in. So if that's the case, to the point of what James Graham there is saying, there will be times, I think, based on how Dyche plays, that we're going to have some possession. So we will have the likes of Diblin, Merlin, Barry, and McNeil in advanced positions, and James Garner kind of floating around as a passing avenue, and Eric Boonham probably kind of being not a passenger, but just in that midfield until there's a turnover. There are definitely opportunities where we can be in advanced positions, and Merlin can maybe make an influence. The question is, I haven't seen him, unfortunately, link passes together as you'd expect him to. It's been a very heavy touch, but also a lot of chasing and isolated play. So, in short, I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, and I actually think Merlin's got a lot of potential as well, Chris, and he's actually a player that can play in a lot of different positions. He can go out on the wing, he can go in the 10, he can probably even play the striker position, to be honest. He's a really big frame, he's actually a really big dude. I think he's off the top of my head, he's definitely over 6'2" or something. So he's got a really big figure. He's just general awareness and just starts in the Premier League will be this game will be nothing but good for him, obviously, to start a game as well, and just more experience again. But yeah, it should be interesting to see what Roll can do in this type of a game. And then even just getting crumbs off Barry. I in this game, I really, really want to see Dibbling and McNeil putting crosses in for Barry. That's just something we don't do enough of. Even for Beto, Beto and Barry are actually really good in the air, but Barry's particularly really good. So we just need to get those crosses into the box, into dangerous areas, and get Beto and Barry onto them. Yeah,
I think if we have numbers forward, I think James Garner or Merlin could certainly get
that extra body in the box.
All of the crumbs that you'd see in AFL, but
yeah,
and this is largely where I'm at, Mr. Blue Skies. I think it's exactly that. He needs more game time to get up to speed and build full fitness.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part right now is if that is the case, Nottingham Forest, they're not there. 17th with a 3-point gap or cushion between them and the relegation spot, I think, with West Ham. But then you say, you know what? This is not the time to be testing your number 10 when you want and need goals, and basically this is 3 points we should be taking. Because Nottingham Forest, if they get a sniff, it'll be an aggressive game from them, and you wonder, geez, this isn't easy. This should be if they're truly in 17th and desperate for 3 points, we need to stamp our authority, and we don't have the ability to do that. So in a way, lucky us, but we're going to miss out on 3 points right here because we don't have squad depth. I like Merlin. I want to see more from him, but if he's not ready yet, he better be today, because we don't have the depth. If he either comes up injured by being tested for for an extended period of time, or just simply burnt out quickly, and you say, well, we need to change things at halftime, then all of a sudden you've got Jack Grealish coming back and already a little bit ill potentially. And then you're saying you've got Jack, Dibbling, and McNeil for 45 minutes with no flexibility for a second option, unless you go for Elijah Campbell, which you could do, but is that really what we want to be doing? Basically, the under 21 squad is now becoming the first team.
Yeah, we need to have a big transfer window.
Yeah, it doesn't help for today, but yeah. And I think for Cash, I think the real question here is Forest typically sit deep, right? That I haven't watched them a whole lot this year, but Sean Dyche in particular, and we know it, he's like it. At times, if his team is working correctly, they will sit deep, but they may actually box us in at times as well. But they're not a consistent possession squad. Under Nuno, they weren't. Then they had Ange for a little bit, and that experiment didn't work out. So they've changed styles a little bit. But are they going to be sitting deep and counterattacking us? It's like, would they not just go for it against us? Because I would say so. If I were them, I would take advantage of it, of our weaknesses, and box us in. They're also at home, but I think there'll be times we have possession in their half based on how Dyche has set us up in the past when he was with us.
Yeah, I think just defensively on that right-hand side with Patterson, we've just got to be careful there. Obviously, we've got pace, but yeah, I mean, this will be also a really good test for Patterson as well because he hasn't started. I don't remember the last time he started. So, yeah, this should be a good test for him to see where he's at. But it's going to be a test for quite a few of the boys because obviously Dibbling's starting again, Patterson starting, Roll starting. This is a very threadbare squad. So the fact that all these players are now starting, that we pretty much just see them in possibly a 5-minute cameo and now they're starting players. It's that just shows quite a bit at the moment where we're at.
Well, the best case scenario today, Adam, is we have a couple players, or at least Nathan Patterson is on the fringe of our squad. I couldn't put it more mildly than that. If he plays well today, his sell-on value in this transfer window maybe goes up by a mil or two because he's starting matches again. The challenge that we will have from a squad depth, let's see if we can hear it here. So not everyone gets access to the Athletic in hearing the likes of Paddy Boylan talking, but it seems as if, yeah, there's some money, but they're not trying to spend a lot at the moment, with their assessment that January transfers are not as value added as at the end of the season. So the only reason they would truly add players is if there is a critical injury crisis, and at the moment they're not. It's not season-long injuries. It's we can hold on for 3 more weeks and bring a player back. So we're not kind of fully doomed in that respect. Or if we're in a relegation scrap, then they would pitch in and try to get additional funds in, or just to ensure that we're not going down, basically, is the way I was hearing it from Paddy Boylan. So unfortunately, we're in this do we stick or do we twist? So it really depends on and yeah, lazy transfer excuse for sure, but that's what I've heard. So if that's truly where they're going with it, if you're seeing a squad like tonight, and if that is what we're going to deal with for the remainder of this,
I definitely think we're going to be going for at least one fullback that can potentially play on both sides, because we don't really have a starting right back currently, and we and Jacob Bryan can't really be starting right back, and Patterson's obviously, I think he's rumored to be leaving. So, and then obviously we've got Mikalenko. If he goes injured, we don't have a left back. So, we definitely need a left back to potentially cover both sides. We also probably need a striker that can score goals. So I reckon we'll be probably looking at a fullback and a striker and potentially a midfielder as well.
Yeah, no, I think realistically, if a right back and a striker would be the two spots, I think center midfield wouldn't be a bad option. But because we have players, coming back from AFCON and injury at some point, we will just get by there, and I can't see them prioritizing that other than realistically, hey, that's available spot, and any improvement's a good improvement. If we're talking predictions, Adam, and maybe we've got 15 minutes before kickoff, but we'll start having that conversation, and those in the chat, feel free to add your predictions as well. Are you thinking we get a point today? Because I'm a little nervous. You may have to talk me into it.
Yeah, I think it could be a point. And actually, Chris, I actually just want to see a grindy 1 point, like a 1-0 victory, like just to grind, just all the players giving it everything. Like, we just really need to see a really good performance, high energy, high intensity. I would actually love to see a mill and roll goal, from like a set piece or something like that, or a scrap goal or something like that. I reckon that's probably what happens, or potentially a Jake O'Brien header, for example.
Yeah. Well, I think if what's it, Chris P. Chess, if we get something like a 2-1 win, I think we're going to have to score early, and Merlin roll off a set piece or a turnover and scramble in the box absolutely could be the way. But we haven't seen Merlin enough to know. But I would love that. That would be amazing if we can get a goal early, shut them down, and then later on, with our lack of depth, maybe we get caught out. Maybe Patterson's fatigue or over attacking mindset will get us caught out. There's also a few people thinking, I see a 1-1 in the chat. I also see a 1-0 from Phil Gaming. Yeah. And you know who's really optimistic? This Mark Spark 2409. He looks like he's on the beach, which would be a wonderful position for us to be in, but we've got about 4 months or 3 months of football before then. Could you imagine a Barry hat trick? I can imagine a lot of things, but I wouldn't bet on it either.
Yeah, well, Barry's come. He has had a couple of goals disallowed, and so he is technically scoring them. But yeah, it would for Barry to get another goal. That will obviously do his confidence a lot of good, and potentially he could go on a bit of a purple patch. So yeah, I'm definitely all for anyone scoring really. I think we just need to see a lot of creativity from Dibbling on that right hand side there. I think if he really has a good game, and he's a bit of our creative outlet, and he can hold up the ball a little quite nicely, and get those crosses into Barry for a header or something like that, I could see potentially a goal coming from Barry as well, from a header from Dibbling.
So we expect it to be a big dunk-esque diving header. I would love a lot of things. Shots on target. At least we had a few of them, unlike Burnley, in all honesty. But I think Mark Foster's probably right. Doesn't help us with our. And again, the challenge for me, honestly, guys, is that at 3 a.m., me doing a watch along, I could talk, and you'd probably see it in my eyes. I'm just struggling to stay awake, and it's not good for my health or anyone else's at that time of night to do a watch along. But I could easily see this being a bit of a bore fest. James Graham agrees with Mark Foster, and I just think with the squad setup and how bare we are, we got away with it at Burnley, but we're talking another level to Burnley in the squad that we're going to play. Or play against today. And you're right, that Burnley are unfortunately going to be, unfortunately, up to you guys on that, but likely to go down because they can't convert. Nottingham Forest should be able to, and have proven for a few years, to be able to score goals. So I'm worried that it won't be 0-0. We can't get away with the scary complacency that I think we saw against Burnley, where especially in transition, we were getting overwhelmed through the middle. And Nottingham Forest are better than Burnley at doing that. That's where I see a lot of the challenges actually coming from us today. So I would love a 0-0, but I'm kind of worried that we will concede. Toffee Man 560, evening lads. If we can score first, then we could win 1-0. Can't see Dyche going full out attack. It's not the way he sets up. Not to lose. Come on, you Blues. Yeah. There are many that would be an option. That would be a lovely option. I would love to be up 1-0. The Forest fans demand more, and Dyche is just yelling gutturally on the sideline.
You know what we need as well? I was just thinking about it just then. Is just like good set piece delivery and good corners and whatnot from Garner. Like if he gets some really good quality balls into the box, you've got O'Brien, you've got Roll, you've got Tarkowski, Barry. Like there's some big units in there. So our set pieces could be like one of the turning points on this game. Like if our set piece delivery is good, and we get some good balls into dangerous areas, I think that could be where we snatch it.
Yeah, and I think having Dwight McNeil in the squad is a bit like having what was the guy that was with West Ham and moved to Southampton? Oh, is it Southampton and caused us all these problems? So the guy that was
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, he's becoming our Ward. I mean, we kind of knew this already, but he's almost our Ward-Prowse. So we need someone that can do set plays and hit the back post. And Dwight McNeil is that player. So you can either, and if he's doing, I mean, we're likely to get James Garner doing in swingers from the right, McNeil from the left. And we have we have no Michael Keane, who is actually a loss, especially going forward. So you go Tarky and O'Brien and Merlin and Barry are going to be the main headers of the ball from set play. So that's still not nothing. I think we physically outdo them, because you think Ryan Yates was pretty strong for them. Murillo's quite strong in the air as well, but I think
Mikulenkovic would be their big man.
Milenkovic. So Milenkovic is probably the main one for them, and you think, okay, there'll probably be a couple players that are missing here, like a Dominguez or something, but I think we're going to outnumber them physically on set plays. So.
Red Ross McNeil's not going to do Daddy Dyche.
Well, that's probably why. No, clearly not. But like Michael.
Surely that's why he's starting. Surely.
Sorry, boss. I cannot hurt my old boss. I cannot score against. I can't score against my old gaffer.
Put one in. That'll be great if McNeil unleashes and puts one in from like 20 yards, 25 yards.
So
should we head off?
Yeah, we'll give it one more thing. This is a key thing. I know it's always the case that you don't want to get silly bookings, but with our lack of squad depth tonight, we do not want fullbacks on yellows early. And that could certainly be a risk for us if we're having too many players on yellows and getting tired, being stretched, and not having the bench options to sub players off. But and we haven't scored in a while. Maybe it's time to change that from set plays. Yeah, I appreciate the comments and the support for us doing, let's say, a quite a late night show here at 3:30. I think it'll be Ryan and I on post. We'll talk to that here in a bit, but let's call it there. I think I am not optimistic, but I also don't see a scenario where we're going to get blown out of the water, but anything can happen, especially at this time of the year. A lot of results and fixtures going on, so maybe we get lucky, Adam.
1-0, mate. Festive season. Let's go.
Yep, let's do that. And time for some chicken twisties. All right.
Yeah, mate.
Catch you later.